the nice guy trap. I'm going to talk about 5 self-sabotaging habits that destroy your confidence, it destroys your life and your love life. Have you ever felt you are always the kind, the nice, gentlemanly dude, but always finishes last? Maybe you say yes when you want to say no. Maybe you put women's happiness above your own, hoping that it will finally make her see your worth. But instead you end up feeling invisible. You end up feeling frustrated, resentful. What if I told you that these habits are actually sabotaging your life, your love life, and that breaking free from that belief system that you carry with you is key to real confidence and deeper levels of attraction? Today I'm going to reveal 5 really big mistakes that nice guys make, that I used to make myself, and how you can finally step into your power, and start living and loving on your own terms. For the guys who don't know who I am, my name is Rink. It's the most Dutch name that you'll ever hear. People outside of Holland call me Rick, the Dutch guy. I used to be the ultimate nice guy. I thought that being agreeable, that being selfless, that being always available would make my girlfriend happy and win me love. But all that it did was leave me feeling empty, overlooked, taken for granted. Everything changed when I realized that true attraction and the respect that it needs, they come with boundaries. They come with self-worth. They come with being authentically you. They don't come from being a doormat. Since I understood that years back, and I started implementing and improving my life with these teachings that other mentors taught me, I started growing and helping. I started helping other men break free from the nice guy trap and build lives and relationships that they're actually proud of. And since 2009, I've been teaching, mentoring, sharing everything that I could share with the world of men and help them improve. I strongly believe that this topic is super important and that this challenge many men face matters. It's a very important challenge to take on and to overcome. Because let's be honest, if you are a nice guy, you now understand that it's not working. You want to be liked, but you end up feeling used. You desperately desire that connection, but you get friend-zoned. You would love to get respect, but you get walked over. The truth is that these non-serving beliefs, these non-serving habits don't just hurt your love life. They sabotage your confidence. They sabotage your happiness. They sabotage your future. So if you are ready to stop sabotaging yourself and start living as the man you would like to be, this training is for you. Let's dive into a few limiting beliefs that I walked around with for a long time and a few that I got from working with a lot of men. One of those limiting beliefs is, if I'm only nice enough to her, she will eventually love me. So if I'm nice, she's going to love me back. Many men believe that if they just keep giving and pleasing and sacrificing, eventually there will be a woman who will see their value and love them back. Maybe you recognize this. I used to watch a lot of romantic comedies where this was the storyline. You had the simpy dude in the beginning who was a dork, but he was nice. He could love the gorgeous girl in the movie, unlike the bad boy that was her actual boyfriend, the alpha dude, and he could love her, unlike that guy could. That's where I got these belief systems. I took them from those movies. You have to understand, this belief that if you only give more, at some point she will love you back, it's rooted in fear. a fear of rejection, a lack of self-worth. The truth is, love and respect cannot be earned by abandoning who you are and your desires. Real attraction comes from being authentically you, the best version of you, not abandoning your wishes, desires, goals, your vision. Real attraction comes from standing up for yourself, not from being endlessly agreeable. A second limiting belief that most nice guys grow up with is, my needs are not as important as her needs. Happy wife, happy life. As long as she's happy, then all of us can be happy. Nice guys often put everyone else's needs above their own. I put my girlfriend's needs over my own, thinking that it's a noble thing or selfless. But this belief leads to resentment. It leads to burnout. It leads to a loss of your own identity. You have to really understand that your needs matter. They are very important. They matter just as much as anyone else's needs. When you ignore your needs, you teach other people to ignore your needs as well. Limiting belief number 3. If I set boundaries, I will lose my girl. As I was in the beginning, I was terrified that saying no, standing up for myself, calling out bad behavior would drive my girl away and that I would then be alone. But you have to understand that this is very important. A woman cannot respect you and therefore not feel attracted to you when you don't have boundaries. Boundaries create that fundamental frame on which attraction is able to grow. Without boundaries, you become invisible and very easy to take for granted. Limiting belief number 4. Again, this was me. Taking her crap will make her happy. I back then literally believed that tolerating disrespect, tolerating mood swings, tolerating, well, literally physical and mental psychological abuse is the price of love. It's something that I walked around with. The past 20 years, I've talked to so many guys who had that belief system because we did not have a proper example. So we took that from our parents, the parents from friends who were going through shit. So I thought that was normal, that was part of the game, that was part of the dance, that was just part of having a relationship. I didn't know better. So I took crap, I tolerated disrespect, I tolerated her mood swings on the receiving end of her wrath. If this is you, understand that accepting bad behavior will not make anyone happy. It will only enable more of it. You have to see it like this. Her disrespecting, her throwing her shit your way, her throwing her abuse at you. It usually starts very small and it builds up over time. But because you don't enforce your boundaries, she's testing you, she's giving you tests of manhood, she's testing your frame, she's testing your emotional resilience. That's all different ways of calling it a shit test. If you are losing her tests, she will throw bigger tests at you. Why? Because she needs that counter pressure to respect you, and she needs that respect to truly feel attracted to you and love you. If she cannot respect you because you are emotionally weak or unstable or because you cannot enforce your boundaries, she cannot respect you, she will not ever be able to love you or find you attractive. I'm going to end it with one of the biggest limiting beliefs. And again, I've been through this one myself. If I ignore red flags, things eventually will get better. I'll be able to fix it. Recognize this one. Is you ignoring the red flags, your friends trying to let you know that there's a load of red flags around her? I was the nice guy who dismissed warning signs. I got fucked in the ass by more red flags than you can see passing by during a Chinese parade. Why did I do that? Because for some reason, I used to crave validation, and I most likely had a fear of being alone. So taking her crap felt more safe to me than being alone. Think about that. I have a lot of conversations with guys every single week, and they go through exactly the same thing, dismissing all the warning signs because they crave validation and fear being alone. I've been through it. For the people that follow me, you know my backstory with the 12-and-a-half-year relationship that turned toxic. It was not violent. There were things happening that should not be happening in relationships at all. I lost my life. I lost my stuff. I lost money. I lost my car, access to our 2 dogs, and I haven't seen my daughter since she was 2. She's going to turn 18 this September. That's why I'm standing here right now preaching to you guys, because I hope that you will never get into this situation. If you ignore red flags, it will lead to bigger problems down the road. I've never seen anyone in a relationship with a girl who waved more red flags at a Chinese parade being able to turn it around into a prosperous, loving relationship. I've been doing this for a very long time. I have never seen it happen. If there are red flags in a relationship, it will turn to shit. You have to face reality, even when it's uncomfortable, because it's uncomfortable, to take that responsibility and take that deep reflective look in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? I have a shit relationship and I let that happen. I deliberately say me. She came on your path because you opened your door to her. So it's on you. But when you walk the path of self-development, of growth, at some point, because you do all the work to becoming a better man, with a better character, a more developed character, a more emotionally imbalanced, socially aware, that's when you start to deserve respect, love, and happiness. Not because you're perfect, but because you are real and on your way towards a better life. When you honor your own needs, when you set boundaries, when you show up as your best self, you can become authentically you and become the man that healthy women actually desire and want to have in your life. Finally, those women will desire you and the kind of man that you are. And you can be proud of that man. You have to put in the work. Because if you are living your life where you allow toxicity, where you allow the universe to beat the crap out of you, that's where you are. You have to grow. You have to move. That's why I sometimes use harsh language to try and challenge you. But brother, understand, I'm speaking from hardcore experience myself. I've been through that myself. That's why I'm preaching, so that you don't become a father of a kid who doesn't even know who you are, because you opened the door for a woman that should not have been in your life. That's what motivates me the most. And how are we going to accomplish that? We're going to dive into the 5 steps to breaking the nice guy trap. Step 1, and write these things down. These are really important. They come from over 20 years of diving into this stuff, from psychology, social psychology, evolutionary psychology. Brother, I'm going to give you everything I can so that you can improve your life, become a better man. And at some point, when you are a father and you have a happy family, you send me an email. Dude, I did it. Thanks. That's all I want. Step 1, stop saying yes when you want to say no. And stop saying no when you want to say yes. I remember a time when I would agree to anything just to avoid conflict or disappointment. I would say yes to plans that I hated, to favors that I didn't want to do. I wasn't excited about it. I thought that being agreeable would make other people like me more. But all it did was make me feel resentful and fake. And one day I realized especially when that toxic relationship exploded, that I was living someone else's life, not my own. That's when I decided that this is going to be a turning point. I'm going to say no to things that I did not want to do. Yes, the first times it felt terrifying. And I worried what women would think and if they would be angry and leave. So I told myself, whenever I meet new women, from now on, I'm going to be radically honest. I'm going to say no when I want to say no. I'm going to say yes when I want to say yes. And I'm going to tell them exactly what I want from the relationship. This is what I want, take it or leave it. When I started doing that, I felt relief and a surge of confidence. The more I honored my true feelings, my true wishes, my goals, my vision, and the more I walked my path, the more respect I got from others. And the more I started respecting myself. This shift taught me that saying no is not selfish. It is one of the most important things you can do in your life. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, or every time you say no to something that you actually want to do, you basically are saying either no or yes to yourself. I strongly believe, having been through 21 years of self-development, that real strength is in living your life and living your truth, not in pleasing everyone else. We know from psychological research that people who set boundaries and assert their needs are way happier, they're way less stressed, they are more respected. Chronic people-pleasing leads to anxiety, that it leads to depression, that it leads to low self-esteem. So when you suppress your true feelings, you disconnect from your authentic self and teach others to do the same. You attract what you are. You have in your life what you allow, what you open the door for. So if you already take a crap on yourself, wow, it looks really stupid if you're trying to crap on yourself. But if you're already doing that, how can you expect someone else to respect you if you don't even respect yourself? You have to work on being assertive. Assertiveness is a skill that can be learned, that can be developed. And studies show that assertive people are seen as way more attractive, trustworthy, and confident. Saying no when you mean it is a sign of self-respect, and it inspires respect from others. In the beginning, it felt uncomfortable. But I remember that one of the first things I told my first girlfriend after the breakup with the mother of my daughter, I told her some really harsh things like, this is how it's going to be, this is who I am, this is why I'm telling you this, because I respect you. If you don't want to walk the certain life path with me, I still respect you. I respect your decision. And I was saying all those things. In my gut, I was afraid that she would say no and that she was going to leave me. I really liked that girl. She said, no other guy has ever told me this. We spent 9.5 years together in a very passionate relationship. It was amazing. We're no longer together now. Even amazing things end. But I cannot complain about that relationship. I was open, and it inspired her to do the same. When she went to her friends and she would try and talk about things that were bothering her, she didn't feel the same amount of openness. When she was with me, she felt free to discuss anything. Why? Because I did exactly the same. It inspires respect from others. It inspires other people to be just as blunt to you. And you know what? That makes life so much easier. A very small action step that you can start doing is the next time you're asked to do something that you don't want to do, instead of reacting, respond with thought. Instead of going, sure, I'll do that, because you're afraid to say no, check in with yourself. If your gut says no, practice saying it kindly but firmly. Thanks for asking, but I don't want to do that. Notice how that feels to honor your truth. You could also write it down. Keep a journal of moments when you say yes or no and reflect on how Each one of those choices makes you feel. Over time, you will build the muscle of assertiveness and start living more authentically. Step number 2, stop taking crap. Start respecting yourself first. There was a period in my life when I thought that putting up with a woman's bad moods, disrespect, or even insults was part of my first long-term relationship. That was just a part of being a good boyfriend. And I would let things slide, thinking that it would make her happy or keep the peace. But you know what it did? All it did was make me feel small and powerless, and I started to dread spending time with her. My self-esteem just came crashing down, and the breakthrough came when I realized that respect had to start with me. I began calling out disrespectful behavior. In the beginning, I did so with anger, but at some point I lost the anger and I started being more honest. I did that with a few women actually, and some did not like it. Most girls did not like it, but appreciated it. That's something you're going to have to find out by doing it, by standing up for yourself, by not taking any shit, by responding with calm honesty. Don't get triggered. When you get triggered, you basically lose the shit. Don't get triggered. If the girl you're dating, if your girlfriend is speaking to you in a way that you do not like, literally tell her, I don't appreciate being spoken to that way. And the more you do it, the more confident you will feel. And the more proud you will feel by doing that. It taught me that you can't make someone happy by abandoning your own dignity. You have to respect yourself first, and then you will be able to attract women who respect you too, and who are on your level, who vibrate the same energetic vibration. What I'm going to share with you is taken from science. Boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. Research shows that people who tolerate disrespect, who tolerate abuse, they are way more likely to experience anxiety, depression, low self-worth. But those who enforce boundaries are happier, healthier, more attractive to high-quality partners. When you respect yourself, others are more likely to start respecting you. And the people around you, you will be inspiring them, and they will starting to respect themselves more, and they will thank you for it. Tolerating bad behavior only invites more of it. Setting boundaries, look, it's not about control. It's not about you. It's something that I see underneath videos a lot with angry women. This is small dick energy. No, I have boundaries. I'm not trying to control you. I'm trying to control me. My life is, I have these boundaries. You either respect them or move on. Setting boundaries will help you respect her more. Because if she operates within those boundaries, there's no reason for you to lose respect. Identify one behavior that you've been tolerating that makes you feel disrespected. And from now on, decide to address it. Address that disrespect. And use clear language, use calm language. I don't accept being spoken to in that way. I don't appreciate you speaking to me like that. Stand your ground. Yes, it will feel uncomfortable. And you can actually say that as well. Hey, look, this makes me feel uncomfortable. I do not like doing this, but I have to call you out. The way that you are speaking to me right now is unacceptable. If a woman leaves, or if someone leaves you because you stand up for yourself, they will have done you a favor. They are not a good match for you in your life. This is very important, gentlemen. Respect yourself first, and the rest will follow. Step number 3, this one is very important. Stop forgetting your own wants and stop forgetting your own needs. I've been through this myself. My first long-term relationship was 12 and a half years of going through all of the shit. So when people respond, who hurt you? That was one of the things that hurt me, that relationship. Because for years, I believed that putting her needs above my own was the key to getting love. Isn't that ridiculous? I would go along with her plans. I would go along with her preferences. I would work on her dreams while my own desires faded into the background. I thought this would make her happy and be loving, but instead I felt invisible, unfulfilled, and eventually I lost myself. I didn't even realize until I lost track of what it was that I wanted. That relationship exploded, and then afterwards, the turning point came when I started asking myself, what do I want? What is it that I want? I started making my own plans. I started pursuing my own goals. At first, it felt a little bit selfish, but soon I noticed the shift. I was happier, more confident. I felt the charisma starting to grow. I felt more attractive. Women responded to my passion, to my purpose. This journey taught me that your wants and needs matter. You have to honor them. Your needs, your wants, they are very important. When you honor those, you are finally able to become a man who has direction, who has drive. And those are qualities that are deeply attractive. And those are exactly the qualities that I, in my 20s, did not have. I had drive, but my direction was being blasted in different directions because I was in a shit relationship and I accepted all that crap. Let me share a little bit of science. Self-determination theory in psychology shows that people who pursue their own goals and express their needs are happier, more motivated. Don't you want to feel more motivation? Those guys are more attractive. What a lot of nice guys do literally leads to resentment, to low energy and a loss of identity. And that is exactly what's happening right now with men all over the world. They are resentful, they have no energy, they don't know who they are. They are lost. And you can never build a healthy relationship when you are lost. Yeah, you have to be 100%, not 50, not 75. You have to be 100%, because only when you are 100%, you can give 100%. Sometimes your 100% is here and hers is there. It doesn't matter. As long as you are 100%, because you know your goals, direction that you go into, because you embrace your desires, because it then makes you feel good about yourself, you can actually feel 100%. That's how you build a thriving relationship. I speak to these guys on a weekly basis. In a nutshell, the conversations go like this. I feel like shit. My ex moved on way faster than I have with a different kind of man that she fucked when we were still together, and now I don't trust women anymore. How can I get a relationship? Dude, really? Did you even hear yourself? It doesn't work that way. If you feel like shit, if you're not empowered, if you're not standing on a solid emotional frame that you can actually build on, no woman is going to be able to provide what it is that you seek. It comes from within you. And that's why you need to understand and embrace your desires, your goals, your needs, because that's what makes you. And that's what she wants to know. Who is that guy? If he goes full throttle towards his desires, towards his dreams, his vision, when he is his all to realize that, to make that happen, will I be happy following him on his path? That's what she wants to know. She doesn't want you standing still, crying, being all vulnerable about your ex-girlfriend because you didn't know who you were and did not embrace your needs, wants, desires, goals. You simply suppressed them. Many nice guys do. Yes, I did it too. But what can you do to find out your desires? You have to take some time to reconnect with your desires. What is it that you want in life? What is it that you want from your relationships? With friends, your business network, your intimate relationships. What is it that you want in your future? Write it down. Make a vision board. That's why it's so important, because you have to find out what it is. Again, I'm not pointing fingers. Every time I point a finger towards you, I back at myself. I've been there too. You walk around aimlessly. It's unattractive, not only to women, but to anyone around you. You have to know what it is that you want, where you're going, Write it down. Write down your goals. Write down your dreams. Write down your future. Create a vision board. Look at it. Dare to dream again like a little boy. Become creative again and start voicing your opinions and making choices that reflect your true self, because now you finally understand that's the path that I want to follow. And practice asking for what you want, even in small ways. Whether it's choosing the restaurant, sharing your dreams, make your needs known. The more you do this, the more you will attract the right people and the women that will actually value and support the real you, the authentic you. Step 4. This one was one of the most difficult things for me personally. Stop dismissing red flags and stop allowing negativity in your life. I used to ignore all the warning signs in that first long-term relationship, allowed the negativity, the jealousy, the drama. Why? Because I was desperate for validation. I thought that this was it. She will change. Everything will change. Another thing that I told myself, this is just part of it. It's not that bad. Every week I speak to guys that go through the same shit. She will change. It's not that bad. All the same things that I told myself one time. But every time I dismissed a red flag, I would pay the price later on. At some point, the relationship turned toxic, and I ended up hurt and confused. I didn't know what to do with myself. It was a period of 3 to 4 years where I had a really big struggle with myself, just to be able to put everything in perspective and deal with all the shit that came after that breakup. At some point, after a few years, you will be able to trust your gut. And if something fell off, I would actually start to pay attention. And I started walking away from negativity and drama. Like right now, I am super allergic to negativity and drama. For example, when I went to a club and I noticed negative energy, I would move. I do not have a tolerance level for negativity or drama. I do not want to be around it anymore. I do not want to have it in my life. I finally dared to stand up for myself. And by doing so, it actually saved me from years of pain and opened the door to healthier, happier relationships. The relationship I have with my current girlfriend, the mother of my daughter. When I'm here in the office, I cannot wait to go home and see her. The relationship is relaxed, it's chill, it's fruitful. We're building together. And that's what I longed for a very long time. But I first had to become that person. You are going to have to become that person first, so that you can attract what you are. Because I hear a lot of guys complaining, all the women I meet are shit. What does that say about you, my friend, my brother, with a lot of love? It says everything about you. Please take it from me, for your sake and for your kids' sake. Ignoring red flags never lead to happiness. Facing reality, even when it's uncomfortable, is the first step to real love. Real love starts with really loving yourself and standing up for what it is that you want. Don't forget, all these things tie into each other. So what I would like for you to do is make a list of red flags. Make a list of negative behaviors that you have ignored in the past. Think about your past relationships. Write those things down. Be mindful of them. Understand them so that when you meet another woman, you will actually be able to spot the red flags and take appropriate action. Commit to paying attention to these signs in the future. If you notice a pattern of drama, disrespect, or negativity, you address it. If it keeps happening, you close your door to it. Surround yourself with positive, supportive people who lift you up. The more you value yourself, the less willing you will be to tolerate anything less than respect and kindness. Number 5, stop living in fear of losing. Stop fearing the loss. Stop fearing losing her support. This was one of the reasons why I stayed in that relationship for too long. I was terrified that if I stood up for myself or pursued my own path, she would leave me. This was a toxic relationship with a woman that was not a match with me. We had a shit relationship. And I was afraid that she would leave. I keep encountering guys who do exactly the same thing, fearing losing a bad relationship match. I would hide my ambitions, I would downplay my struggles, I would avoid tough conversations, and in doing so, I felt smaller and more dependent. The turning point came after that breakup when I decided, you know what, from now on, I'm going to be honest about who I am, what it is that I want, and what I'm going to do. I started sharing my dreams, my challenges, my boundaries, my wishes, my demands. Some women didn't like it and left. That was okay. The right ones stayed. This experience taught me that real support comes from being real. If you want real support, if you want them to be real with you, you are going to have to be real with yourself. When you show up as your best self, your most authentic you, only then can you attract women who want to see you win. Not just the ones who want you to play small. And this is where attachment theory comes to play. Attachment theory shows that healthy relationships are built on authenticity, on mutual support, on being real with each other. So when you hide your true self out of fear, you create distance and insecurity. Research shows that people who pursue their own goals and express their needs are more likely to attract supportive, high-quality partners. Living in fear only attracts more fear. Living authentically and in love attracts real love. You attract what you are. So sit down, take some time for this and identify one area, just one to start off with, where you have been hiding your true self and holding back out of fear. Take a small step to share your dreams, struggles, or boundaries with someone you trust, preferably a girl, because that's where you want to improve yourself. And remind yourself that the right woman will support your growth. If someone cannot handle the real you, they're not a good match. You don't have to be hateful about it. The more that you show up as your best self, dating advice that people give, yeah, just be yourself. No, don't just be yourself. Be your best self. Keep growing. Then you can actually show who you are authentically and be proud of that person because you're growing every day. When you do that, you will attract a woman who will truly support you and inspire you. I wanted to talk about a few characters and what you can learn from that character. For example, we have the assertive man. A man who finally becomes assertive learns that saying no will gain respect at work, in his relationships, and will finally be free to be himself. Then you have the guy who stands up for himself and creates boundaries. By refusing to tolerate disrespect, he can attract the woman who values and admires his strength. Then you have the self-expressed guy. When he started voicing his wants and needs, he finds passion and purpose, and a woman who loves him for his drive. Then you have the guy who spots flags, and by walking away from negativity, he saves himself years of pain and is able to find real happiness. And then you have the authentic leader. When he stops living in fear and starts living his truth, he will actually attract women who truly supports and celebrates him. So you have the assertive man, the boundary setter, a guy who expresses himself, a guy who spots red flags, and an authentic leader. How amazing would it be if you could take elements from all of those and implement them into your character? This is what I have to give you tonight. You've learned why saying yes when you want to say no, or saying no when you want to say yes, destroys your confidence. You've learned how tolerating disrespect kills attraction and kills your self-worth. You've learned how the importance of honoring your own wants and needs will guide you automatically towards a better life, and why ignoring red flags leads to pain. And you learned how the power of living as your best self will attract real support. Now, imagine staying stuck in the nice trap. Imagine not doing these things, being resentful, invisible, feeling unfulfilled. Or picture yourself living boldly, setting boundaries, attracting women and friends who respect and desire the real you. The choice is yours. Brother, if this training hit home, please like, share, subscribe to our channel, join our community of men walking the path. Drop a comment about which nice guy habit you are ready to break, and check out our mentorship for step-by-step support on your journey to real confidence and love. And brother, remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be real. The world needs more men who honor themselves, who set boundaries and live amazing lives. Your journey starts now. Break free from the nice guy trap and become the man that you were meant to be. I will see you next Thursday in the next Thursday training.